Thought I would do a funny video this morning. I'll try to, because I was watching, I had some funny ones, and so I'll try to be a little bit funny. Listen to this. How's this for the fucking trans argument, right? For no other reason, just to amuse myself, because I think it's funny. It like things that are they're meant to just be this ongoing discussion. They're not meant to be the pinnacle of crisis. Because really, the same thing is going on everywhere. Like think of the car you drive. If you spend a fair amount of time in a car, that's like a shell. You can change your car pretty easily. You can change the colour of your jumper or your jacket. You can change your job. All these fucking things that are so new compared to the concept of gender. So the concept of thinking that there wouldn't be gender fluidity is insane. Of course there is gender fluidity. Of course there is. And can you imagine, this was the fuss of like 70% of men have changed their car in the last year. Like, and we presented it as though this was a crisis. Because because they're like, the price of Toyota Corollas has plummeted. Because of like, that would be so fucking weird and hilarious. And it's just, it intrinsically, if you get just to the superficial, the immediate, that, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. I remember when my dad had 3 cars in the time I knew him. Each one of those was a huge deal. It was like, oh, Dad, well, you've brought a Suzuki home. Jesus. He's like, yes, yep, it's time to tell you, son. I've got a Suzuki. Honestly. So, they are the issues we're seeing. That was an issue, but it wasn't. We don't collectivise them. Collectivising that, we do sometimes. Suzuki sales are down. Obviously, the girls on girls and blokes on blokes and everything in between is on the up, I'd say. Then we have to decide on what level of concern to have for that, and what are some key indicators to why that would be. And is it, when you're like, is it because it's being promoted? And you're like, yes. Yep. They promote fucking Suzukis as well. And Suzukis go out the door. And see how I've gone all ring around the rosy that entire argument. You never know where I'm at. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ooh, look, I'm over here fucking attacking it. Oh, look, I'm here defending it. That's actually kind of what's going on. Because I'm not concerned with the group dynamics of this complicated thing. The group dynamics seem weird. Like, especially on this thing. Imagine, so it's like, I'll say this, I don't know, that's risky. That's fucking risky. I think what I mean by risky is like it's misinterpret what I was going to say. Too high risk. But you don't, like, but then, see, the reason you do group dynamics is for protection. Because you can't trust individual dynamics. I'll wander my way through this argument fully. I'm showing my work here. I'm showing my homework. This is what's going on. And immediately I'm like, okay, this is a very complicated issue. Like, it just really, really is a complicated issue. I think the same... Imagine there's a real possibility anytime soon there's going to be, I think, a serious backstep on vehicular transport. And it's going to be the same. Basically, that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be... I'm kind of weird on this because I think my desire for where I want to live and how I want to operate is just different anyway, so I'm not a really good person. But this is going to, I think, divide, like, it's going to tear the entire fucking cities apart, and it's actually a really good thing. But I guess it needs to... and funny enough, the thing that's preventing this is materialism. Because everyone has too many things. It's actually too logistically difficult to entirely change suburbs. That's the highest pinch point. And that is what is keeping us in stagnation. We need to solve that puzzle. And so I think we need, like, the most efficient... We need a moving service. Honestly, I'm going to do this. I don't even know if I have this ability. But if, say, I had a fucking magical pile of money that I could point in directions and have them self-materialise, I would make a rapid moving company. And it's no nonsense. It's like, you leave, we put everything very carefully and discreetly in a box, and we put it in limbo for you while you go and fucking have a little thing. That is a business right there. It's quite an easy business to do. And it's a higher level output. And that will keep it interesting. And I'd say that is probably a good thing to do with a teammate, with a friend, as, like, young, like, or a brother, because it's... But early. Early, and just go all out and stay above board the entire way. Just communicate as much as you can. That's what I would do. That's what I'd be telling my son if I saw him. Do you know what I mean? That's why we have an issue. These types of fucking up in the air concepts have taken up far too much time and space in people's heads already. And there is a million of these that we can hyperfixate on and stall out our lives in perpetuity. I think that's how I'd say it. Or we can, like, work on some fundamentals and actually communicate and get some communication. It's like, what's the major... I'd say the major forces right now going on is this: there's fear, there's stickiness, it's like hard to move. It's like, this is where a concept from online projected into the world may be a bit better. If we get down to the base principle that everyone is just themselves, they may have things, they may come and go. All your things that you own, right, is probably the same stickiness as these people experiencing gender dysphoria. And funnily enough, involved in that would be this, because you would be changing everything. I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm saying I have an ability to, like, dive deeply into these things, and so which is painful and uncomfortable and takes a lot of work. But so I can see some of the peripheral concepts that are kind of just perhaps creating friction. Friction will be tension, or, like, can erupt in violence. I'm pretty sure this is just almost exactly how our system's working now. And I'm not even all in for this, because I think there will be a part of this that will destroy some things that I hold very dear. Maybe not destroy, maybe hyper elevate them. So don't, like, if something's not being talked about, that doesn't mean it's not good. If you are doing good things, you are doing good things. That's the whole concept. It's the market formation of a kind of lifestyle economy where you are able to quickly move into the lifestyle that you are hoping for. We need to streamline that entire process. And so we're already really far along with that, with children being quite minimalists, I think. Although, like, there's still this attempt to push materialism, and that's still ridiculous. But I think this is a bridge for those two worlds. And that's good as well. That's good from my perspective. I'm like, okay, hang on, we can work with each other, but I am going to put pressure on you. And I think the response should be, we appreciate that. We are very sorry for how much we've... There is no other thing. It has to be that. There has to be that admission from the materialistic base that you have overstepped. And it is cause for concern. Then we can ultra heighten products and just go back to a premium kind of basis. We should be able to, like, there just will be a transition. There's be a full, again, there's another transition. Funnily enough, the uptick in material consumption will inevitably lead to a more fluid sexual ideal, like gender fucking fluid system, because of the access to new concepts, costumes basically. You can re-costume very cheaply and efficiently, and this didn't exist. This is why people hyper-professionalised. I'm not entirely sure whether that is always a completely positive investment for the culture. Because if you hyper-professionalise and specialise on nonsense, which I think has happened quite a lot of times, then you create like a trap